Perhaps we haven't met. I'm Discord.
Another chaotic battle!
Taste the scream of death.
Greetings, comrades. This is 88 Gelu. Finally back with another Yu-Gi-Oh deck review. I haven't made any more Yu-Gi-Oh decks recently. I don't know why I've been holding off on making this video for so long. But after this one, I'm probably going to have to start making some new decks or using some sort of online website to make new decks. But either way, this is a Yu-Gi-Oh spellcaster deck specifically built on the spell counter system. So, we're going to start off with trap cards. We have, get back here. This deck is very small, and it will probably still be able to use a lot of improvements. So we have Magician's Circle. Activate only when a spellcaster-type monster declares an attack. Each player special summons one spellcaster-type monster with 2,000 or less attack from their deck in face-up attack position. Pitch Black Power Stone. After activating, place 3 spell counters on this card. During each of your turns, you can move one spell counter from this card to another face-up card you can place spell counters on. When there is no spell counters on it, destroy it. I think there are 2 of those, but I'm going to have to find out what the other one is. Call of the Haunted. Standard brings creatures back card. Magical Explosion. You can only activate this card when you have no cards in your hand. Inflict 200 points of damage to your opponent's life points for each spell card in your graveyard. Tower of Babel. Each time a spell card is activated, place 1 spell counter on this card. Blah 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 blah. When this 4th spell counter is placed on this card, destroy this card and inflict 3,000 damage to the player that activated the 4th spell. And then Torrential Tribute, which is a board wipe. You can only activate this card when a monster is normal summon, flip summoned, or special summoned. Destroy all monsters on the field. Then we have the Magic cards, which of course is a main staple of this deck. This deck is like almost half Magic cards, where there is 2 Mystical Space Typhoons. Magicians Unite. Activate only when you control 2 or more face-up attack position spellcaster type monsters. Select one of them. That monster's attack becomes 3,000 until the end of turn. The other spellcaster type monsters you control cannot attack this turn. Monster Reincarnation. Yami. Increase the attack and defense of all fiend and spellcaster type monsters by 200 points and decrease the attack and defense of fairy type monsters by 200. Lightning Vortex. Magical Citadel of Endymion, whatever. Each time a spell card is activated, place a spell Place a spell counter on this card. Why can I not talk today? When a card with a spell counters is destroyed, place its spell counters on this card. Once per turn, if you would activate a card's effect by removing a spell counters from cards you control, you can remove spell counters from this card instead. If this card would be destroyed, you can remove 1 spell counter from this card instead. Pretty darn useful. I dropped that. And Diffusion Wave Motion. Pay 1,000 life points. Select 1 level 7 or higher spellcaster type monster on your side of the field. During this turn, only the selected monster you attack... on the field. During this turn, only the selected monster can attack, and it attacks all monsters on your opponent's side of the field, once each. The effects of effect monsters destroyed by this attack are not activated. Now the problem is that there's only 2 level 7 spellcaster type monsters in this deck. I have a Dark Magician and some other guy, which I will get to soon, the Archmage. What I recommend is that you guys have probably 2 Dark Magicians in this deck. Also possibly 2 of the Archmages, because most of the guys in this deck are pretty low level, and and there are many ways to summon high level monsters in this deck. So that's pretty useful. So also because you'd have those guys, you'd probably also want something like Magician of Black Chaos and Dark Magician Girl, but that's just me, and I don't have any of those cards. I only have the ones that I put in here. Book of Secret Arts. A spellcaster type monster equipped with this card increases attack and defense by 300. Not the best. You'd probably, if you have a better equipped spell, you should definitely use that. Magical Mallet. Magical Dimension. Activate only while you control a spellcaster type monster. Tribute 1 monster and special summon 1 spellcaster type monster from your hand. Then you can destroy 1 monster on the field. So this is incredibly useful because you could just sacrifice one of your monsters. Like, let's say, I don't know, I had Magician's Apprentice on the field who's like level 2. With the Magical Dimension, I can tribute him and then replace him with Dark Magician and destroy one of my opponent's monsters. So that's incredibly useful. Spell Power Grasp. Place 1 spell counter on a face-up card that you can place a spell counter on. Then you can add 1 Spell Power Grasp from your deck to your hand, and you can only activate 1 Spell Power Grasp per turn. So, I don't even know why that's there. You guys should probably replace it. Or if not, get a 2nd or 3rd Spell Power Grasp. Yeah, I really do not know why that's there. Malevolent Nuzzler, another typical one. Magical Blast. Activate only while you control spellcaster type monster. Inflict 200 points of damage to your opponent for each spellcaster type monster you control. If this card is in your graveyard, you can add it to your hand instead of conducting your normal draw during your draw phase. Tribute to the Doomed. Spell Absorption. Each time a spell card is activated, increase the life points of that card's controller by 500 points. Mage Power, Swords of Revealing Light, and Field Barrier. Field spell cards cannot be destroyed. Also, a new field spell card cannot be activated. You can only control 1 face-up Field Barrier. And last but not least, the monsters. There is, of course, Dark Magician, 2 Apprentice Magicians, which are level 2. When this 400 attack, 800 defense, so don't use them for combat. When this card is summoned, place 1 spell counter on a face-up card that can have a spell counter placed on it. When this card is destroyed by battle, you can special summon 1 level 2 or lower spellcaster type monsters from your deck in face down defense position. You might want to get 3 of those because there's quite a lot. Miracle Flipper. If you control Miracle Flipper, you cannot summon this card. Your opponent cannot select another face-up monster as an attack target. If this card is destroyed by battle, special summon it to your opponent's side of the field at the end of the battle phase. If this card is destroyed by the effect of a spell or trap card, destroy 1 monster your opponent controls. So the point is to probably, destroy it with one of your own effects. Not really Torrential Tribute, because I'll just kill the whole board anyway. But you get the idea. I'm not sure if he has to be destroyed from the field. Let's check. If this card is destroyed by the effect of a spell or trap card, destroy 1 monster your opponent controls. Yeah, it does not say from the battle phase or on the battlefield. So I guess you could use a card that will allow you to discard it, which there are quite a few of in this deck, like Lightning Vortex and Tribute to the Doomed. Magical Undertaker. Level 2. You're seeing a lot of level 2s here. 400, 400. Oh, that guy's 300, 500. Flip. You can target one level 4 or lower spellcaster type monster in your graveyard. Special summon that target. And here we go. Endymion, the Master Magician. That's what I meant when I said Archmage. 2,700 attack, 1,700 defense. You can special summon this card from your hand or graveyard by removing 6 spell counters from Magical Citadel of Endymion you control. When you do, add 1 spell card from your graveyard to your hand. Once per turn, you can discard 1 spell card to destroy 1 card on the field. Hannibal Necromancer, 400 attack, 1,800 defense. When this card is normal summon, place a spell counter on it, max of 1. You can remove 1 spell counter from this card to destroy 1 face-up trap card. Ugh, my hand. Magical Marionettes, level 5, 2,000 attack, 1,000 defense. Each time a spell card is activated, place 1 spell counter on this card. This card gains 200 attack for each spell counter on it. You can remove 2 spell counters from this card to destroy 1 monster on the field. Sage of Stillness, 1,400 attack, 1,000 defense. If this card is destroyed by an opponent's destroys an opponent's monster by battle, your opponent cannot activate trap cards during the next turn. So very useful to give it something like Mage Power, Malevolent Nuzzler. The Unhappy Maiden, 0 attack, 100 defense. When this card is sent to the graveyard as a result of battle, the battle phase for the turn ends immediately. Mahavilo, 1,550 attack, 1,400 defense. Increase the attack of this card by 500 points for each equipped spell on this card. Also really helpful to equip her then. Magical Plant Mandragora, 500 attack, 200 defense. Flip. Place 1 spell counter on a face-up card that you can place spell counters on. The Stern Mystic, 1,500 attack, 1,200 defense. Flip. All face-down cards on the field are turned face-up and then return to their original position. No card effects are activated when this card is turned face-up. When cards are turned face-up. Blast Magician, 1,400 attack, 1,700 defense. Each time you or your opponent activates a spell card, put a spell counter on this card by removing any number of spell counters from this card. Destroy 1 face-up monster on the field with an attack equal to or less than 700 points times the number of spell counters. Old Vindictive Magician, flip, destroy 1 monster on under your opponent's control. 450 attack, 600 defense. Magician of Faith. Skilled Dark Magician. Each time a spell card is activated, place a spell counter on this card, maximum of 3. You contribute this card with 3 spell counters on it to special summon 1 Dark Magician from your hand, deck, or graveyard. 1,900 attack, 1,700 defense. White Magical Hat, 1,000 attack, 700 defense. When this card inflicts damage to your opponent's life points, 1 card must be discarded randomly from your opponent's hand to the graveyard. Magical Exemplar, 1,700 attack, 1,400 defense. Each time a spell card is activated, place 2 spell counters on this card. Once per turn, you can remove any number of spell counters from this card to special summon a spellcaster type monster from your hand or graveyard whose level is equal to the number of spell counters you removed. Breaker the Magical Warrior. Probably you guys should have another one of these in your deck. When this card is normal summoned, place 1 spell counter on it, maximum of 1. This card gains 300 attack for each spell counter on it. So if it's maximum of 1, then it's just 1,900. You can remove 1 spell counter from this card to destroy 1 spell or trap card on the field. And last, the only non-spellcaster, Mask of Darkness, which will allow you to bring, when it's flipped, select one trap card in your grave and add it to your hand. 900 attack, 400 defense. So this is around maybe a 50 card deck, I think. I could double check and put it in the description of the video. I probably will. So yeah, guys, thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe. If you guys have any suggestions for improvements to this deck, or just for Yu-Gi-Oh decks that I should make that are pre 5Ds, because I don't have any cards past GX, and the few that I do have, like, can't really combo well. I don't have enough of them. So yeah, guys, thanks again for watching. Goodbye.